dark. You can hear me. Mic check. Yeah, it works. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? It's been a little while. A week, 2 weeks. Terrible market conditions. But this week might get a little bit better as institutions start offloading their positions ahead of the holidays. Who all is in here? All right, posted there. Cool. Let's start putting together a bit of a watch list. Where is my watch list? Where did that go? There it is. All right. What do we have moving today? Harley Davidson, nice. We've traded this one in the past. Decent for options. Viacom Class A is moving. That's interesting. No volume though. Never mind. No volume in any of those. Just Harley so far. Okay. Next site. Pharmaceuticals are moving again this week. I'm gonna put them all on my list and then, well, most of them on my list and then narrow them down from there. I'm not including penny stocks though. If you want me to watch a penny stock, let me know, I can look at it, but otherwise I will hold off. Gap downs, any? Natural gas is moving. If any of you trade futures. Lucid Motors is moving again. Apple up 1.4% as SPY tests all-time high in pre-market. What's this? ARNA, I already have that. There are no gap downs. Interesting. American Airlines, maybe. What's that percentage? Less than 1%. I have an idea to fix the floating head. Robinhood is down 1.2%. does that look like on the chart? Where are my charts? Yeah, could make a move. I'm gonna add it just as the only gap down because there's nothing else. But it's not that good. All right. Let's see, VERU. We traded that one last week, didn't we? Or 2 weeks ago. Hey, Junior. Good morning. SM on the daily. SM. Is that a ticker? ERU. Oh, that's a $7 one that I saw. Okay. SM Energy. Is that what you're asking? You put it in lowercase, so I'm not sure if you're typing a ticker or not, but it's not doing anything pre-market. No volume, nothing happening. But if it's one of your long-term plays, then by all means go for it. I'm going to focus on day trades as opposed to swing trades. Today. What does that one look like? It's making a good bounce up off of that 2680 SR level. Holding over 30. Yeah, not bad. Alright, let me look at this watch list now. I'll do this with you all. Okay. 1 minute. That looks good. This looks like something that Mike would want to trade over 42, 44 pre-market high. Let's add it to my watch list. ARNA is next. Pharmaceutical company. Is this a buyout? What is this? Yeah, plans to acquire. Okay, so it is on a buyout news headline, but the buyout has not happened. So we could still watch it, but that takes away. When buyout news is not the best news to trade off of. A lot of news can be good, create some good volatility, but for a buyout, they give the specific price that they are buying the stock at, so you assume it will hover around that price and not move much. Unless you were holding the stock before the buyout was announced, then it's good news. But for day trading, not so much. BLU. Yeah, it's not my favorite, but it's moving. LCID, this one has been pretty decent to trade the past couple of weeks. It is coming down on the daily chart, but pre-market, let's see, it looks like it's testing that 40 whole number. Yeah, that's exactly what it's doing. Okay, we'll add that. What's next? I just realized while I'm on YouTube, I need to where is it? It's not that. Hey, Joe. Welcome. Trying to find... I have so many things on this, what do you call it? Template? Don't want to just delete it. I want to hide it. Here we go. No. It should be a... That's it. Okay. Hiding the sub goal because there are no subs on YouTube. Okay. Cool. Back to the watch list. Lucid. VERU. I can type it in correctly. Okay, this is making it, yeah, it's sub 10. I don't love that, but it's up 14%. FDA approval, decent news. Big gap down, up to 7. Maybe we see a move up to 10, maybe. And then last but not least, Robinhood, which is up, or excuse me, down only 1%. So, 2% now. Okay, it's moving. It's moving somewhat. Breaking down on the daily. Nice. Big green candle here. We'll see what it does. I think it's worth watching as the only gap down. And then we'll see once the market opens if there are any other gap downs that pop up. Okay, let me... In light trading, post that there, and then Instagram. Then we're all set. Joe, how was your weekend? Come on. Too short? Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I say that as if I don't work all weekend. Watching the race was nice though. Nice break from work. All right, let's add the link. You know what they say, Joe? If you enjoy what you do for a living, you don't have to work it. I can't even say it. We all know it's BS. Work that you enjoy is still work. Just work that you enjoy. All right, let's add an arrow pointing at this. Or a, that's good. Animated, perfect. All right, watch this is going up on Instagram stories, Twitter, and StockTwits. Hey, Mike, typing on nice. Yeah, I'm sure it sucks, but still worth doing. It boosts the stream a little bit. We really need to figure out how to game the YouTube algorithm. Now that I'm on YouTube. Hate trading on the phone? I don't blame you. I don't like trading on the phone either. Done it. Sometimes you have to do it. You know, if you're managing a trade, you have to go run errands, you have to go do something, and you're managing a trade while you're out and about. And it sucks every time. Pull up to a red light in your car and you have to quickly exit a position. Who was that? E-All, I believe? Who sent a picture in the Discord of him doing exactly that. That's funny. Oh, there's a chat rate metric. The chat rate of the stream at the most recently available time. Okay, so we have concurrent viewers, chat rate, playbacks, and average watch time. Those are the metrics that YouTube cares about, it seems. And it also seems very finicky about concurrent viewers, because right now there are 4 people watching, and it says there is me and 1 other person. So I think you really have to be actively watching for it to actually count, as well as a high average watch time. Interesting. I wonder when it cuts off your watch time if you switch to another tab, or I don't know. All right, 5 minutes until the market opens. I like Hood breaking down here under 1958. Again, this is only down 2.38% now, not 4% for an OBD like I prefer. But I would like to take that one short. The daily chart is just really good on the way down. Can you do commands in YouTube? Can you create commands? Or do you have to, you probably have to add a bot and all of that. Okay. Maybe. Anyways. Oh, concurrent viewers jumped back up to 4. Good. All right, FHTX, this is the one. Which one is this? $1.5 billion. Ooh, okay, that's pretty big. Is LOY also moving on this? I did not see that on any scanner. Yeah, it's not really moving. So anything on my watch list, or anything that you guys are watching that is not on my watch list that you want me to look out for at the open, let me know. Watch list is on the left here. It's also on Instagram, Twitter, StockTwits, everything. Well, just about everything. That is a very difficult message to read, but I understand what you're saying. I'm gonna correct you on the spelling. On the 30-minute candles, what are you watching the 30-minute candle in pre-market for? That's a new one. 30 minutes in pre-market. It only really trades on volume in pre-market for 30 minutes, so there's only one candle that you can go off of. But I don't see... You mean this previous one? That means nothing. It's on 36,000 shares, when this normally trades 2 million shares per candle. Yeah. A doji on 36,000 is nothing. This doji on Friday... on 1.2 million shares, that's something. That's why I usually trade the shorter time frames at the open pre-market, because there's more candles. Whereas a 30-minute, there's only a few candles, and they have no volume. Like here's a 30-minute candle with only 500 shares traded. That's not enough to base any trend analysis off of. But if you turn off pre-market and you look at only the like the normal candles, the higher volume candles, the candles during the open market, if you turn off pre-market and after hours, then 30-minute, 1 hour, all of those are viable for swing trading or longer term trades. A general rule of thumb is to think of trades in a time frame of 10 candles. So if you're on the 1 minute candles, then a trade would take 10 minutes. If you're on the 30-minute candles, it would take 5 hours. Roughly, that's not a rule. It's not something ingrained in the market, but that's a rough guideline to help you make sure you have a good perspective on how zoomed in you are on a chart. All right, market opens in a few seconds. I'm going to watch the 1 and the 2 out of the open. I'll switch to the 1 and the 5, and then the 2 and the 5, and then the 5 and the 15 throughout the opening session. You can see SPY is above my head. Pre-market, this is coming close to all-time high, which is around 73, 473. It's actually dropping right now. Interesting. So SPY is closing its gap at the open. All right, let's run through the watch list. I need to find a new playlist that's copyright free. I'm not feeling this one anymore. Another day. ARNA, this is the one that was on the buyout news. Has such a strong downtrend. Taking a breakout at any level is very risky because there's a lot of resistance from previous lows that are getting in the way. So you'd have to really just wait for some sort of a setup to happen. FHTX is pulling back, which is good for an OBO. BLU as well. What is Hog doing? Hog doing the same thing. Okay, a lot of pullbacks. BERU pulling back. We want to see a pullback, a red candle close, and then a continuation up for the OBOs, which is the main focus of the open because of how many gap up stocks there are. LCID had a big red candle. And then the inverse for Hood would probably take this on a breakdown of pre-market low 1958, but it is only down 1.4%. Let's run through that again. RNA, okay, see that pull back? That's why you don't want to chase it. FHTX is still pulling back. BLU is still pulling back. Hog is still pulling back. SPY is pulling back as well. That might bring a lot of things down. I'm going to quickly look at my screener for gap downs to see if anything triggers. These are gap ups that it's showing, so that's interesting. NU. Okay. Yeah, NU is coming down, gap down. It is pulling back now, so we can see after this pullback what it does. We're not going to chase it. Hood has recovered and filled its gap. So we'll see if that makes a reciprocal move or rejects previous close, which was 2013. Just rejected 2011. That's close enough. So we'll see if it rejects that, reverses back down, could take it on the short side, or if it, now that it rejected, breaks through, you'll have a stop, you'll have an entry, and you can create a trade plan up to the reciprocal move, which would be about a 50-cent move. So take it to like 2065, 2063-ish. BERU starting to curl. LCID coming down. This is now only up 2.9%, not 4% anymore. It's closing its gap, so gap fill opportunity in LCID possibly. Hog is finally coming back up. Pretty big stop though, I don't like that. This sharp of a pullback straight into a big green candle up. engulfing bearish candle. I don't love it. You might be able to consider the low of this green candle as a stop. And then that would be your entry. So the low of the previous candle instead of the low of the previous move. If you trade the OBO this way, you'll probably get stopped out more often than if you had your stop all the way at the low and not the low of the previous candle. But I do know some people who successfully trade this setup. Their personal strategy on this setup is off of the previous candle low. And then your target in this would be pre-market high. I do like that the entry is at the whole number of 42, and I would probably move the target just a few cents early to 42.50 just to make sure that you get filled at that psychological level before testing pre-market high. So your trade plan would look like that. There's an OBO in hog, and it came 5 cents away from triggering. SPY is coming back down, so that might be holding this back a little bit because this switched to a green move when SPY switched to a green move. We'll see. Let's cycle through the stocks again. ARNA is now curling back up. See if we can get a setup in that one though. SPY big red candle down. FHTX is also curling back up. There is a reversal opportunity here, although it is quite bullish, so I don't love it, but I'm going to chart it just because I've shown you all this opening reversal play before. Instead of an OBO or an OBD, you trade the reversal up to the breakout or the breakdown level. Now in this case, I would change the target to 18 whole number just because these opening candles were playing with that. It is clearly SR in this one, as well as the high, the breakout level. If I were taking this on the breakout, that's the next resistance level for a target. So entry would be over the reversal candle. So you can see you have the different criteria for a reversal. Deceleration, you have decelerating candles, decelerating volume. It's kind of hard to tell on the volume, but it's roughly flat on the volume. But you have the decelerating candles. You have the reversal candle with this hammer candle right here, almost a doji, but not quite. But a hammer candle is a reversal candle. And then on a level of SR, it is reversing on 17 whole number roughly, but not exactly. So it's like 2.5 out of those 3 criteria. But the reward to risk is good, which is the last criteria. The reward to risk is good, so it's 3.5 out of 4. So not awful, but not great. I would give this like a B. And once it hits 1R, one way to trade this is once it hits 1R, which is right around, let's see, we could do this exactly. We don't have to be lazy. 35 cents, that would take you to 40. Right here is the 1R level. As it hits this level, you could then change your stop to break even. And that's pretty much admitting, okay, my reward to risk was 1-to-1. I was at least guaranteed as much profit as I was going to earn in reward. It hit that level. Now that it hit that level and it confirmed I was right in the direction and the timing, just not the distance that this is going to move. Because I was right in all of that, I don't want to be punished by taking a loss. So I'm going to adjust my stop loss to break even. So right now you can move your stop to break even. That's one way to trade this. It does look like it's coming up and going to hit the target though. It's a nice reversal. Big green candle and SPY. Let's see if that helped hog at all. Looks like it's close. Yep. This plowed through target straight up to second target at 43. So if it breaks through a target with that much strength, a lot of times you'll hold this on to your second target. Again, all depends on your style of trading. We have your second target up here at 43, 1 penny below, to make sure that you get filled when the ask tests that resistance level and you get this big selling wall on the ask at 43 whole number. You can still get filled on the bid. Qualcomm, what happened? Qualcomm, yeah, that's a pretty good move. Pretty good move. You kind of got this curling down reversal that tricks some people out of it though. Looks like it's trading opposite of SPY, but This is kind of like that trade that we just took in FHTX, where you have the move up. If only this were a gap down, then that would have been a trade opportunity, but this was a gap up. It had bullish momentum, so you wouldn't have taken this on the reversal down because it was bullish in an uptrend. All right, SPY is now really coming down. What is FHTX doing? I feel like this one will trade different from SPY, the nature of a stock being up 60%. A lot of people have their eyes on this, and when SPY is coming down, they put their money into this. So that is the case. It did hit first target. Second target would be high of pre-market, which is 1965. And so again, when it breaks through your first target, a lot of times I personally trade with mental targets, which means when it tests a target, I'm watching the level 2. If it seems like it's not really breaking that target with strength, it's just barely touching the target, then I will happily get out. But if it plows through that target, just smashes through the selling wall on the ask, then I'll often hold on and see if it reaches a second target, or if it doesn't, like right now, if it were to only get up to, what is this? Testing 19 whole number, which is also a valid second target, by the way, but testing 19 whole number. Let's say it missed 19 whole number, just barely, then curled back down to 18 whole number. I would think I would probably get out a little bit earlier than that, like 1850, but I would get out and secure profits. You always want to sell into strength. A lot of beginner traders get this wrong, where they think, oh, it's starting to show weakness, so I should start selling. But if you're selling in weakness, you're too late. The move has happened. Everybody all the experienced traders, all the institutional traders, all the hedge funds, they already got their profits and they're out. So now the liquidity is running away and you've already missed out on your edge. If you want to be consistently profitable and maximize your wins, sell into strength. So when it's making a strong move, and then any sign of like the slightest loss in strength, right, while it's still making a strong move, and then it's just you can kind of tell on the level 2 that it's slowing down, or it makes a big drop down all of a sudden on the level 2. It's showing like it might turn into a little bit of weakness, then you start to get out. Hog is continuing up. This one I would have been out at 43 for sure. So I normally trade with my first target as a mental target, and then second target as a hard target. And then I will get out, say, 75% of my shares at that second target if it reaches it, and then hold the remaining 25% of the shares. I probably would have stopped out of those at the first target in this one. But let's say it didn't come down, stop out. I would be holding onto those 25% of the shares for this continued run, and just watching the level 2 and get out whenever I feel like it, pretty much. Again, selling into strength. Like right now, watching, and it's pulling back, sell. 43.50. So I squeezed not the most possible out of this one. You're never going to guess the exact top of a move, but instead of selling at 43, I was able to sell at 43.50. That's where the phrase maximizing your profits is kind of tricky, and I always hesitate when I say it, but it's one of those phrases that people understand for the most part. It doesn't mean the absolute maximum. It means the process of getting more out of your trade. See, this is rejecting 44 whole number now. So that's 2 pretty solid trades. Two pretty solid trades. Let me know if any of you took those. Be happy if you made some profits this morning. Junior, did you make profits on Qualcomm? That was a pretty good move. I didn't see too clean of a setup. I guess there's the curl and then the breakout, but it wasn't up 3 or 4% at that point that it broke out, so it didn't necessarily confirm that it had the strength to continue that move. Let's add a few tags to this live stream with the stocks that we are trading. Come on, let me edit. We are trading Hood. We are trading FHTX. We are trading Hog. Those are the main ones. And then we can add a few more, I suppose, like LCID. Okay, and that's it. I've reached my limit, my character limit on tags. Cool. Edna was trying to trade UPST. The Krillin Qualcomm was on the retest of all-time high. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. You're trying to trade UPST. I feel like you've tried to trade that one. Might be in your family of stocks at this point. UPST. Not super clean. It's pretty much break even on the day and looks pretty choppy. It's following the market pretty closely. All right, ARNA. Slowly downtrending. Yeah, nothing interesting there. FHTX, great trade. I kind of like this FHTX for trade of the day, honestly. I still have a trade of the day. Another trade of the day post in Peloton, I believe. Ooh, Peloton's actually making a decent move. All right. FHTX reversal. I like that opening reversal. I want to teach that one on Instagram. It's definitely going to be one of the setups on the Inlight app. How many in here? Raise your hand with an emote if you are supposed to receive, if you know that you're supposed to receive a beta access key to the Inlight app. Let's see if you remember who you are. I know who you are. Let's see if you remember. Raise your hand. I believe there's like a hand, some sort of hand raising emote. Let's see. Yeah, because you could do like the normal ones. Yeah. There's Junior. Michael just does the exclamation point because he's watching this on his TV. Doesn't have his keyboard. Understandable. Understandable. Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. Concurrent viewers 5. Who's the mystery person in the background? Feel free to say hello. Don't be shy. Good solid stock to short. Get Phil. Fake out going on. Okay. Talking about UPST. This lighting is hilarious. I love the window lighting, but there's so many clouds and so much wind here that the lighting conditions change quickly and frequently. Hog was a pretty good trade as well. I'm surprised none of you took this Hog OBO. This was the first OBO that I called out of the morning, and it just worked well. I mean, there was the issue with the stop, of course, where some people might have put their stop down here. That's their rule, and then they wouldn't have traded this because it wasn't 1-to-1 to 4250 or pre-market high. That's understandable if you didn't trade it for that reason. Inlight app I should have a an update this week. The trade cards are supposed to be done this week. They're supposed to be done this weekend, but there's always delays, especially when you're working with a freelance situation. But expecting that to be done this week, and then after the trade cards comes the education page. Oh, I have a question for you all. This is mostly for Junior and Whale, Nano, Whale, Junior, Michael. I don't know the naming, what I should do, Twitch names or YouTube names. Junior, Mike, Nano, Whale, whatever. Those of you who do have beta access keys. I, as you know, love teaching. And the whole point of Inlight is to be an overall education, right? So those of you who have been in the mentorship program know that I go above and beyond just trading stuff. We'll talk about life stuff. We'll talk about time management. We'll talk about pursuit of happiness. well-being. Some people will get into fitness conversations and creating workout plans and weight loss plans or bulking plans and muscle growth plans, and we'll go through all of that. Or some people, we've gone through like yoga and stretching routines, dietary conversations. I've gone through it all with a lot of different mentorship students. So you guys know that that's what I like to do in my one-on-one mentorships. That's why I like doing a one-on-one mentorship, because I can't do all of that in just courses, right? Anyways, sorry, got a notification from YouTube giving me tips about my bitrate. Distracted me. I have a question for you all. Would you like to see in an early iteration, like originally this was planned to be, trying to get this one hair to, originally this was planned to be far in the future, to incorporate other, like by far in the future I mean like 2 years in the future, to incorporate any education other than trading on the Enlight app. But me personally, I get very, very, very burnt out when I'm just teaching trading every day, because my passion is education. I love trading. It's my favorite sport. And I love teaching trading. I love mentoring trading. But I love trading with the lifestyle stuff, trading with the well-being stuff, trading with the happiness stuff, trading with the time management stuff, right? Trading as a tool to build the standard of living that you want to live. Not trading, just trading, right? There's plenty of other people doing just trading. My differentiating factor is I love the education stuff. And I personally am driven when I'm able to teach everything and just create this education company, create Enlight, this logo right here, that guy. So I would love to start incorporating, because in the app, there are going to be quest lines, right? You guys are familiar with this idea a little bit. These quest lines that are like courses, but a little bit more interactive. It's not just watching video after video after video after video. It's like a video and then go read this chapter in this book, and then have a 1 hour coaching call with an Enlight mentor, and then have this, like a bunch of different activities in different ways to learn. And it takes you through this journey, and on the journey you can unlock things like branches off, or discounts on another course. If the way you travel through a quest line shows that you are interested in learning a certain thing, you might unlock a discount on a course that goes over that certain thing, for example, to kind of reward you for wanting to learn, for showing an interest in a certain topic. Anyways, because there's these quest lines, I don't want to make, I've been working this past week a lot on the 0 to 1 trading course, on the trading stuff. But once I'm done with the 0 to 1 trading course, I'm thinking, do I want to make other trading courses, or would I rather make a physical well-being course, a mental well-being course, a social well-being course, a relationships course, like all of these that you can then integrate into your life with trading as the fuel, trading as the vocation, trading as what you do for 8 hours a day working, trading as what you're studying, what you're learning, what you're focusing your education on, trading as what your main income source is to fund this lifestyle. But having those other courses instead of a bunch of different trading courses. I'm curious if you all would like that. One idea I had was to have like an excuse me, like a preliminary Enlight model of education of everything, where it is one single very big quest line, like a big, very expensive quest line / course that takes you through all the different areas of life, takes you through trading with some 0 to 1 trading course stuff, takes you through the physical, all of that stuff. I'm curious if that would be helpful. Or if you all just want a bunch of trading stuff, which is understandable to expect from a trading education company. Because as soon as the Enlight app comes out, That will be my focus, is creating those quest lines. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay, so now I wonder if it wasn't a purchasable thing and it was instead a free thing, if you would go through it and consume it. Would just take some shrooms. I don't know if shrooms will help you with all those things. Might unlock your some neural connections and pathways in your brain, but I don't think that will teach you everything there is to living a happy and healthy life. Might make you more accepting of what you would learn. What about Tesla? Well, decent breakdown, trend channel breakdown, somewhat. I hesitate because it's so small of a move. No pullback, unless you have the line drawn here, you can kind of consider this doji as a pullback. I could see you taking this one under 993, stop 995.60-ish, first target 990, second target low of day 985, 985.20. It's not awful. This is actually a trend channel breakdown, is what I've been editing all morning in Tesla specifically. The trend channel breakdown video. So that would look something like this. There's your entry. Here's your stop. Let me change the color of this channel line. And then your target could be first target previous low and then round to the nice round number of 990. I think I'll be able to get it exactly at 990. That's close enough. Then a second target at low of day. That could be your trade plan in Tesla. Already happened, already would have hit your second target, but in hindsight. I'm curious, Will, what you were thinking on that one. $986 to $980. Okay, so taking the break of low of day. Or of the bodies of these candles at low of day at least. Down to 980 with a stop around 990. So that's a 4-point stop, 6-point target. Did you take that trade? Because that would have triggered, as well as hit your target. Let's run through the watch list again really quick. RNA is curling back up, but not really doing much. You did kind of get a trend breakout here. Pullback, break. Kind of trend channel breakout. Gotcha. You'd have to jump out of bed really quick to have placed that trade. Blue made a really nice move, up 61% now. Unfortunately, if you took the first breakout of the high, you would have been stopped on. If you took the second one, the stop would have been so big that you probably wouldn't have taken it. So, no very good setup in that one. HTX is pulling back now. This was a great trade. Hog as well. VERU. I'm gonna start keeping track of each day's trades again. I used to do this and post it on Instagram, and I think some people found it pretty helpful. So I'm going to try and remember to do that again. What is Tesla doing on this breakdown? Whoa. Don't use the number keys while streaming. Forgot about that. I was just seeing what we guys ran through. Big selling wall on Tesla right now at 980. Let's see if that drops down and brings this price down. Massive selling wall. How many shares? I can't see. We're too far away from it now. Oh. Yeah. Okay, that's the format I used to do. Okay, how big is that wall? 266. So, it's what, 26,000 shares? Is there anything else you all are watching? All right, some buying pressure coming into Tesla now. Some support might reverse back up. Still down 4%. Pretty big move down with SPY, which is down 0.5%. See over my head. All right, let's do some R calculations. This was 19. .6 R on that one. .5 R on that one. 5.6, 1.5. You're sitting on hands watching Tesla fade. Hopefully you see 950 this week. It's quite possible. Quite possible. I'm not just saying that to say it. Especially with SPY rejecting all-time high in pre-market today. If we have a bit of a downtrend, like I said at the opening of the stream, we're expecting a lot of positions to be sold off over the course of this month. Might not happen in a day, but you tend to see this at the end of the year each year. A lot of positions being sold off as large funds and institutional traders, as you all know them to be called. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. They start unloading their positions for tax reasons and whatnot. I can get into more detail for those of you who are interested in that, but I think most of you already know what I'm talking about. Claiming profits or losses before the end of the year by selling a position and closing it. 4.1R on that one. Okay, so we are at a total of 11.2R on the day. Nice. It's not bad. What's this NU doing? I'm going to check the gap down screener again now. Why is the volume limited to... What is this volume limitation? Volume, oh, 41,000. Yeah, that's fine. I see what it's doing. Okay. Let's filter this by volume. AMC. Oh, AMC. Big move down. 25. Yeah, there's this breakdown that I talked about 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. AMC. Very interesting. Let's see if there's any trade opportunity in this, though. I'm going to switch to the 2 and the 5, by the way. Maybe just a breakdown under the low. We'll see. See what it can do. What else came up on this gap down screener? GME. How did GME earnings go? Carnival is moving. American Airlines. Seems like a lot of the... Like back when the meme stocks are moving, the airlines are moving. A lot of COVID stocks are moving right now. Okay, let's check out American and Carnival. AAL. We invested in this one together a while ago. Who remembers that? We got this back at like $10 and sold it over 20. That was fun. Yeah, just trending down 5%. Good volume, but not really setting up. It's kind of curling, running out of steam on the downward momentum. So I wouldn't be too excited to take this one short right now unless it were to break down low of day with some volume. We'll see. Oh yeah, I was giving you guys the update on the app. Aside from figuring out quest lines and doing some normal well-being stuff, versus what type of trading things, the main one will be the 0 to 1 course transferred over. Season 3 of the 0 to 1 trading course is hopefully going to come out relatively soon. Probably around the same time as beta for the app comes out. That's kind of the goal. So once trade cards are done this week, by done I mean like 80% of the way, like usable done, and then we'll test them in beta test with all of you guys, and you'll understand it's supposed to have issues, and you're supposed to find and point out those issues, kind of thing. That's what beta testing is. Finding bugs before releasing it to the masses. And then next will be the quest lines. Not adding all the educational material, but getting the framework for the quest lines. And then cleaning up the profile page, cleaning up a few things here and there, like the journal entries. There's this cool text box that's just an open text box on the home screen of the app, of the web app, where you just type in anything, hit enter, and then it just disappears. Oof, somewhere. What you can actually do eventually is either read all your journal entries that you've typed in and then hit enter, read all of them in chronological order. You can search them. Like if you search Tesla, you can see it can filter by days that you traded Tesla, what your notes were. So like you could literally just type something like, I feel antsy today, enter. And then that goes into your database, right? I feel antsy. That message is then locked in and entered into your database, your account behind the scenes. And then eventually, the AI is not integrated already. Nano, if you remember from the Indiegogo campaign, the next tier to get the AI was not reached. But eventually, the text entry is there, but the AI to interpret it is not there yet. But I'm explaining what the feature is currently and what it will be. So let's say you say that message, I feel antsy today, enter. Then eventually you'll be able to filter things like you can search Tesla, and then it will show you any message that has the word Tesla in it, that has the ticker Tesla in it. Or it can show you any messages on days you traded Tesla, and you could find out that, oh, any day you trade Tesla, you are just antsier than normal. Maybe there's something going on underneath that you don't know. Maybe 3 years ago you placed a trade in Tesla and you lost a bunch of money, and that's stuck in the back of your head and causing you to have some emotional reactions to it, your thermometer to fluctuate on any day that you trade Tesla, but you don't really realize this. You don't connect the dots. It will connect those dots for you, which will be really cool. And so the idea is to just have this open stream of consciousness and to not think too much about it. Just put stuff out there, right? I feel good about my trade in Tesla. I went on a run this morning. I forgot to meditate this morning. I didn't drink coffee today. And you enter those things, and then eventually the AI will be behind the scenes finding patterns in all of those notes, and you'll also be able to retrieve those notes. Like there's a calendar currently that has no functionality yet. Again, we didn't reach to that funding tier on Indiegogo, but once the functionality of that calendar is integrated, you'll be able to click on any day in the past or the future, but as far as journal entries go, it'll be in the past. You'll click on a day and it will pull up a card from that day of the trades you took that day, the journal entries that you entered that day, any notes that your mentor left for you that day, and tasks that you completed that day. Like, there's also tasks that you and your mentor can assign to you on each day. It's on the homepage, tasks. One of them might be like journal your trades. You click check mark, done. And then that'll show up on that day that you completed your trade journaling task, or chat with your mentor. And you can check that task. And then when you're going through this whole filtering thing, this whole AI thing, you'll be able to go back and see, oh, on all the days where I didn't journal my trades, the next day I traded worse. Or on all the days that I did chat with my mentor, I traded better. And you could find patterns like that. So it'll be really, really, really cool. Really, really, really cool. I'm excited. I'm genuinely really excited for this all to come out. I am definitely working hard to make it the best it can possibly be, as much as I can, as well as the developer. He's working really hard on it in his free time, so he has his regular day job working for his development company, and then at night while he's tending to his kid on his lap, he is working on the Inlight app. It doesn't look like Carnival, American Airlines, any of these that we saw that are moving with the market coming down. Doesn't look like any of them are really setting up. They all seem to have pretty much the same chart. The main functionality of the app to start with, though, is going to be trade tracking. It'll make it really easy, like Mike knows this, of course, keeping track of trades. Like instead of having to draw out your entry, your exit, your stop, and screenshot it, and then send that to me as your mentor, it'll pull all of that information automatically, create a trade card automatically, and then all you have to do, now the mentor portal, again, we didn't reach that funding tier, so the mentor portal doesn't exist, so it'll still be through Discord and all of that, but you'll be able to save the image and send that to me instead of having to annotate your charts. It'll have it already, it'll have your emotions there, it'll have your notes there, it'll have all the information that I ask for already there, so you can already complete that, which will make that side of mentorship easier. It'll also save all of those cards that you created. It's not like a one and done thing. It'll save them to your account so you can always look back. You can filter, this whole AI filtering, all of that. This functionality will actually exist in the beta test and the first release of the app, is being able to filter your trade cards. So you'll be able to filter Tesla or opening breakout or profit. And you can filter as well as sort. So sort by your profit amount, sort by your hold time, sort by date, all of that stuff, and look at all your trades that way. So it'll make it really easy instead of having to have some sort of document like a running Google Doc or Google Keynote or whatever. What is it called? Google Slides with screenshots and notes, and having to manage that. It'll do it all automatically for you. All right, Hood down 2%, coming down, testing low of day is kind of interesting. Not interesting enough. Good night, Mike. Thank you for tuning in. Send me a message on Discord, your work schedule this week, so that I can be aware. But hopefully you're sleeping all right. Hopefully it isn't looking too bad. You're not missing much. There was that Tesla trade, of course, but other than that, I don't think you're missing too much. Ooh, Tesla breaking down again, actually. Might see that 950 by the end of the day today, Junior. And are you looking at any other stocks? Is Joshua, are you still in here? in the background? Have you taken any trades? How about Joe? Joe, you still in here working in the background? Joshua still in here? What trades have you taken today? Have you made some profits? So far I am I didn't actually take these trades personally because I'm not actively trading at the moment. But in trades that I called out and discussed with you all, 11.2%, 11.2%, 11.2 R, 11.2 R on the day on call outs. Trades that I would have taken and the way I personally would have traded them. Now, if you all would have copied my trades or followed them, you probably would not have made the same amount because you might trade those setups differently than I do. But that's what I would have made today. Looking at ARRY, waiting for a setup. Let's check this one out. Waiting for the setup. What kind of setup? Good move up. It did break high of day, but with not a good stop. So it looks like you might be waiting for another break of high of day with a slightly better stop. The daily chart, which I know you like to look at, it's looking pretty weak, but like it wants to bounce off of support and curl back up. Some resistance possibly at 19 and 20 whole number with a gap fill up to 23, which is also an SR level. So I would assume you might want to take this over 1850 up to 20 and then see if it can make the jump from 20 to 23. That's my guess, knowing how you trade. How close am I? Spot on. Yeah, I know my students. Waiting for the break of previous high, exactly. Anything else you're looking at besides that one? Just one trade today that you took already or that you're looking to take? looking to take. Okay. The waiting game sometimes is a headache. It is. I mean, the waiting game is a headache if you are... That's the tricky thing, is you're looking at only ARRY for some reason, even though there's all these other stocks that are making much better moves this morning. I pointed out 3 good trades with good reward to risk ratios on them. Now, they might not have been your cup of tea. They might not have been strategies or patterns that you personally trade. But the point is they're moving much more and making setups than ARRY is. So if you're just sitting here so focused in on one stock because maybe you like the daily chart, but it's not moving on this day, you'll drive yourself crazy. And the issue with that, the drive yourself crazy part, or the headache as you put it, is that feeling that you're calling a headache is like a brain freeze type of thing, because your thermometer is getting too cold. And if your thermometer gets too cold, then when a trade does happen, your brain will subconsciously try to heat up your thermometer faster than you should in an unmoderated amount because you're so cold. It's like being freezing and turning on a fire and then not realizing that you burn yourself on that fire because you've gone to the other extreme, right? And you won't be ready for that trade to happen. And when it does happen, you might chase it, and it might not be the most perfect entry opportunity there is, or the reward to risk might not be there, but your brain is just blocking that out and blocking out all the red flags. It's like, look, dude, I just need to warm up my thermometer. I just need to warm up. I just need to get into this trade, even if it's a C- trade and not an A or an A+. I just need to get into it. I need to warm up my thermometer, and you'll get into a bad trade if you let your thermometer get too cold. So that's a very tricky thing when you're just watching one stock and waiting for a setup to happen. It's better to, at least in intraday trading, to jump around. If there's no setup in a stock, then move on to something that is setting up, instead of Whale just left, but Whale likes to go hunting, right, for food and whatnot. And so if you're hunting, I personally don't hunt. I don't know if you hunt, but I can put together some sort of metaphor with this. Is if you're hunting, this is like just sitting in one spot all day. In that spot, there might have been a deer at that spot last year, fine, but you haven't seen a deer there at all this year, and you're sitting there. Instead of walking around the property and finding tracks and trails and setting up cameras and seeing where the deer actually are, and then sitting and watching that spot, and then the deer don't show up, so you go to a different spot, that kind of thing. But right now, all you're doing is you've just shown up to a new property that you don't know the lay of the land, you don't know where the deer actually walk, there's thousands of acres in front of you, and you're just sitting there looking at this open field that you don't know if there's any deer there. You have no idea, but it's a field. There's grass, there's food for the deer to eat, like maybe, I don't know. Looks right? And you're just sitting there all day long. But you don't know. And then you get cold. Literally, you might physically get cold if you're doing that. But your thermometer gets cold, and so you might then make mistakes. You might then get up and get all frustrated, and you stand up and you go moaning, grunting, upset that you didn't see anything all day. And as you're walking back and making all this noise, you scare off all the deer. That's kind of the metaphor for that. believe I had to give myself 1 hour before the market opens to scan the volume and pick a trade. Yeah, but if you're picking a trade before the market opens, that's the same thing that's happening to you right now. Scanning the volume an hour before the market opens isn't going to make a difference, unless you mean swing trading. But that's the point that I was getting across, is if the setup isn't happening, there's no reason to sit there and watch. Because as you sit there and watch, you get antsy. You get impatient and your thermometer cools down, and your brain subconsciously, I'm not even going to blame your conscious brain of thinking these things, subconsciously your brain will make mistakes and cause you to lose money. Now, you personally, I know you're generally pretty good at managing your emotions, managing your trading mentality, but we both know that mistakes happen. And that behavior just makes you more prone to the possibility of making those mistakes. It's not a guarantee that you'll make mistakes, but it makes the possibility of making a mistake more likely, if that makes sense. So maybe an hour before the market opens, scan the volume and pick maybe 3 stocks to watch. You don't have to scale it to like 10 or 20 or anything, but maybe instead of just 1, looking at like 3. Then you at least have 3 different charts to flip between. And if 2 of them don't set up and 1 of them does, now you have 1 stock to actively watch and actively trade on that day. But if you're limiting yourself to only 1, then when that doesn't move and it doesn't set up, your thermometer just gets cold. It's like diversifying your investments. You need to diversify your day trading. You need to diversify your watch list. If you only have 1 stock on your watch list, you might, another issue with all this is you might, I kind of explained this before, but here's another way to word it. You might force a trade that isn't even there because you've spent so much time and invested so much time into watching this chart that you might think to yourself that you owe yourself a trade in this stock, which is not true. That's not true. You don't owe yourself anything. You don't have to take a trade in this stock at all. But because you've spent so many hours watching this stock and so much time, you will feel like, even if it's subconsciously, you will feel like you are owed money for that time. So you will force a trade to try and get that money to pay off that time you spent watching that stock. That's a very dangerous place to be in. You can avoid that by watching more than just 1 stock. I personally like to keep my watch list every day around 10 stocks. Now, some days there's just not as much going on and it'll be less than 10 days. Some days there will be a lot going on and a lot of stocks with these big gaps and a lot of volume and a lot of momentum, and it might be a little bit more than 10, but I try to narrow that down to 10 or stretch it up to 10 if I can. Because for me, 10 stocks, when I'm at a full desk setup with multiple monitors, I'll normally have a screen with 9 to 12 charts up on it. I'll have my full watch list on that screen, and then I'll have my main trading screen, which is the one you all can see right now, with 2 charts on it, 3 if you include the SPY chart right over my head, but 2 charts on it. The main chart that I'm trading, which right now is on the 2-minute candles, so I'm trading the 2-minute candles right now, and then a step wider from that to give me an overall picture of the trend direction and the move that's happening. Does that make sense? That's how you can avoid boredom and antsiness and your thermometer getting too cold in your trading. Successful trading is boring? Absolutely. A lot of people have this misconception that trading makes you much more profitable and is much better in some way than investing, or much faster. It's not faster than investing. If you invest, you can expect a return of 7 to 10% a year if you just invested in an index fund that follows the overall market. But if you're investing at a higher level or longer term swing trading, you might expect 20% a year on average. That's what a lot of hedge funds usually get, 20% on average a year. Trading, some people think, oh, let's just get 20% in a day. Yeah, maybe in a small account challenge, that might happen. In a small account, trading $300, throwing it into an option contract, the stock moves up 50 cents, you might make 20% pretty quickly. But then you lose 10% the next day, and you lose 5%, and you gain 5%, and then you lose 20%, and then you're up 30%. It fluctuates a lot, and by the end of the year, you might be break even after all those fluctuations. If you really want to grow your account, though, as Junior's saying in chat, successful trading and actually stacking profits on top of each other, you want to keep your wins pretty small. Now, let me correct that. You want big wins and small losses. That's a key to being profitable in the long run in trading. But by big wins and small losses, I don't mean a 100% win and a 10% loss. I mean a 3% win and a 1% loss, kind of. Now, of course, it depends on account size. Making a 3% win in a massive account can be quite different than making a 3% win in a very small account. It's easier to get larger percents in a smaller account, especially with emotions and mentality at stake. Because you need to remember, when you're trading, you're always risking two different things. You have capital risk and you have mental risk. And so you might be able to increase your capital risk to put more money into a trade, buy more shares, buy more contracts, whatever that is, to then result in, if you risk more, then your reward will be greater from a monetary value. It will be the same in terms of capital R, your risk value. But from a monetary perspective, it will be greater. If you increase your risk, your reward will be increased. But if you put more money into a trade, let's say you're used to trading with $1,000, and then somebody gives you $20,000 to trade with. Now all of a sudden you're trading with $20,000. Now you're risking 20 times more capital risk, but maybe you scale that down a little bit, right? But you're also risking 20 times more mental risk if you're trading with the same ratios. And most people can't handle a 20x increase in mental risk. And that's why you hear me say a lot of times, like you'll see, I'm doing this small account challenge next year, right? Starting 1st of January. Well, I think that Monday is the 3rd of January or something. I'm starting this new small account challenge where I trade $365 for 365 days to show you what you can do with that type of money, with that type of account. The goal is not to trade $365 up to $1,000, up to $10,000, up to $1 million, just to get the YouTube clickbait title and thumbnail. No, the goal of that is to say, look, if I trade 365 up to 1,000, you should take out a couple hundred of that in profit. And most people counter me on that line of thinking and say, what the fuck, Max, what are you talking about? You're trying to grow this small account to a bigger account so that you can then scale and make more profits. Yeah, but if you grow too fast, your mentality can't keep up. You might be able to scale up. Let's say you have a very sturdy, rigid trading structure that you can scale up. If you just funnel more money into that trading structure, it should, in essence, work the same way. Up to a certain amount. Like if you are all of a sudden trading 10 million shares of something, that takes a very different style of trading than say 100 shares of something, or even 1,000 or 10,000. But your mental risk at that point changes so much that if you grow too fast, your emotions and your mentality won't be able to keep up. So it's actually good when you're growing a small account to take some money out. It also, by taking money out, gives you perspective of what this number on a screen is. A big issue with money nowadays, as opposed to, say, in the Roman Empire, when you're exchanging coins for things. And you only have a few coins in a little bag in your pocket or tied to a belt loop or something. You know exactly, the weight of 5 bronze coins, what that exchanges for in terms of weight of bread, for example, right? But with just a number on the screen, you have no perspective. Like in my brain, I could hear somebody making $10 million and think, oh yeah, okay, that's easy. Just transfer 10 million on a keyboard over to that person. Yeah, done. Right? But actually seeing $10 million in bronze coins stacked up next to you, like the equivalent, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Actually seeing what that money can get you is very different. So it's actually good to, even if you're trying to grow your account, it's good to pull money out of your account regularly so that you can have a perspective of what that money is valued at, because that keeps your mentality in check. You don't get overconfident that way, and you don't get over fearful either. What broker are you using at the moment? This is Webull. I'm using Webull at the moment. I'm in a transition phase between, I used to use Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade, the broker TD Ameritrade, the software Thinkorswim, but it just got too slow over the past 2 years, 3 years now, ever since they got rid of commission-free trading. I think that was 2018, or was it 2019? I forget. To compete with Robinhood, they got rid of commissions. You used to have to pay $7 to buy and $7 to sell per order. And they would then put that money into maintaining the speed of the software. But now they don't have that kind of money anymore. So, because everybody was opening up an account with Robinhood instead of them, they said, oh, we have to compete with this. We have to get rid of commissions. Fine. But it just didn't work. It didn't work. The software is too slow. It wasn't designed to be a commission-free software. Robinhood was designed to be a commission-free software, but it doesn't have as many features as Thinkorswim. Webull I like much better than Robinhood because they don't have all the issues that Robinhood has had from a corporation standpoint, from a business standpoint, from a business practices standpoint. I also like their web app quite a bit. And I don't have the link now, but because I don't have commands in this YouTube stream. I have them in my Twitch stream. I have an affiliate link with Webull where I can give you the link. I get 2 free stocks. You get 2 or 4. I think they were doing a promotion this past week for you would get like 6 stocks or something, which is awesome. Like 6 free stocks if you deposit at $100 or something like that. And the promotions they run change all the time, but I like that. You deposit $100 into your account and you get 6 free stocks up to like, I think the minimum, when it's 2 free stocks, the minimum is like $20. Like you're guaranteed $20 or something, or that might have been the math when it was 3 free stocks. I don't know, it changes so much, but you get like an instant 20% increase on your $100, which is amazing. If you want that link, I can give it to you if you don't have a Webull account, because it helps me, obviously. I get the free stocks. Not only that, but it also lets Webull know that I'm like successfully, you know, that people actually, like I'm an actual education company, an actual educator, right? If I have 0 link signups and I ask them for a favor, I ask them for a special deal for my students, or I ask them for a special integration to the Inlight app. For example, my company, the Inlight app, and they don't know who I am because I don't have a bunch of affiliate link clicks through them or signups, then they're less likely to do that. So it's good to build a rapport with these companies through their affiliate program. So if you do want that link, it would help me out a bunch. It'll get you free stocks. You don't need to use the link to get the free stocks though. Just let me know. And I can go and copy and paste it from Twitch chat over to here. Still working on this transition to YouTube. I don't think YouTube has bots and moderator, like all the same stuff that Twitch chat has. That's one thing I don't like about YouTube, is obviously the chatting is very different from Twitch, and it's not the Twitch community. But get to meet great people like A here in chat who found us 2 weeks ago. Just randomly, which is awesome. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I'm using Webull. Chat rate is currently 0. I don't know how that's possible because you are all chatting. Oh, by the way, before any of you go, if you start trickling out because things are slowing down in the market, make sure to leave a like on this live stream. As it's live, it actually helps a lot, and those likes transfer over to when this becomes uploaded as a video. But yeah, the likes aren't just for the video, it's actually for the live stream. The more likes that a live stream gets while it's live, the more YouTube promotes the live stream on their platform through the algorithm and all that. It's about to change the white balance on my camera because I just turned blue because the sun went behind a cloud, but I'm afraid the cloud's going to go away as soon as I do that. So bear with me. You guys are going to see in a lot of videos and intros, like I just recorded a YouTube intro this morning and a cloud went over halfway through. It was like it wasn't too long of an intro, but it was a good take, and I didn't want to re-film it. Like I finally got that take, you know what I mean? And a cloud went over halfway through, so you could see the lighting change. Or there's a 0 to 1 trading course video. Those of you who are in the 0 to 1 trading course, you know about this. Which video is it? It's one of the ones when I was living in Chicago. where over the course of the video, and I filmed the video over the course of like an hour, and over the course of an hour, the sun sets, right? So if I cut from here to, let's say there's like 10 minutes where it's just like a bad take or bad information or something, like I cut 10 minutes out, that's 10 minutes of the sun setting from one cut to the next, one split second to the next, one frame to the next. The light changes dramatically. And you can see that. There's one of them where it gets so dark that I didn't realize, because I was in teaching mode, right? This is why I need to hire a videographer to do all this. I was in teaching mode. I was teaching. I was on a roll. I was teaching great things. I wasn't focused about the camera settings when I was an hour into teaching. But the light had gone down so much that it was actually very dark. And the video is very dark. And when I brought the brightness up, there's a lot of noise. And it just looked bad. But at that point, I had already moved. I wasn't in any position to refilm it. And it was like halfway in a series of videos. So being in a different location and filming it at a different time, it would have just been out of place. And the content was good. I didn't want to redo it. I probably will at some point, but I was rushing to get 0 to 1. If you guys remember this, when the 0 to 1 trading course first released, I rushed it out because COVID hit, and I was like, I wasn't planning on doing a course for a while, but COVID happened, and I want to get this course out to make education as accessible as possible to all these people who are now working from home, who are getting these stimulus checks and throwing them randomly into the stock market, so that you didn't just throw it into GameStop and hope that you'd make $1 million. So I was rushing to get these 0 to 1 trading course videos out, and so I wasn't able to refilm it, but you'll know when you see it, those of you who are in the course. Yeah, it's all right. As long as the educational content is good and the video quality is at least like 80%, then I'm happy. Until I hire a videographer, like I come from a filmmaking background, so my brain goes crazy when I see something video related that's not like good, you know? Like when I see a mistake like that happen, like I don't like it, but I have to learn to compromise until I hire a videographer who can focus on the video quality while I focus on the teaching quality. One day. I'm actually going to start looking to hire an editor soon, because I'd like to start doing a lot of education stuff and not spend 12 hours a day editing YouTube videos now that I'm posting on YouTube a bunch, which I love, and I'm all for the idea of posting a bunch of YouTube videos and giving free education out there. But even though I enjoy editing most of the time, just editing myself talking for 12 hours a day, it's not empowering by any means. And my whole thing is teaching, building an empowered life with trading as your financial supplement, but still building an empowered life. I need to actually practice what I preach. All right, ARNA is just going sideways. There was this trend channel breakout earlier. Blue's not doing anything. FHTX, good opening reversal trade out of the open, plus 5.6R on that one to the upper target at 19, a whole number. Hog, opening breakout, has come down and it's not doing anything currently. Still up 11.3% though. LCID not really doing anything, very choppy, ranging sideways, not even channeling though, just ranging sideways. VERU, very slow, steady downtrend to close its gap. Hood is almost down 4%, breaking down lows, so it's almost at that level that I would normally like to take a breakdown, but we're entering the lunch session here in 12 minutes, right? Yeah, we're entering the lunch. I had to do the time conversion. We're entering the lunch session in 12 minutes here, so I'm not looking for any breakdown opportunities right now, because the lunch session usually is lower on volatility, lower on volume, so you don't expect an explosive break through support or resistance. You usually expect it to bounce around between support and resistance, or to continue a trend up or down. Or there are lunchtime reversals, which is a slow and steady reversal, but again, bouncing off of a support or resistance level. And you, very, 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 very low range here, just 2 pennies, and then a big red candle down and immediately recover that. That's interesting. VERU almost looks halted, but it's not. AMC, very big move. Excuse me. Very big move down. Slow and steady downtrend. When did I get on the 1 minute? It should be on the 2 minute. Switch to the 5 minute soon. But you do have a trend channel forming that's breaking right now. This would be a trade that I'd actually slightly be interested in on AMC. It's a trend channel breakout. Now the upper channels, or the lower channels, kind of like that. So what we want to see here, those of you who are unfamiliar with the trend channel breakout, which is going to be the next YouTube video next weekend, if you're not subscribed, which I think everybody who's watching this, but if you're watching the VOD after the fact, subscribe if you want to see a lesson on trading this trend channel breakout that is about to happen in AMC. You see this trend channel coming down, and then you're trading against that. You're trading the change in trend direction. So you want to see this breakout, confirm the breakout by staying outside of the trend channel on a pullback that gives you a tight stop, a nice entry level, and then your target is one of the previous highs. Boring day, not even price alerts trigger this morning. Yeah, it's rough. I mean, as far as boring day, I think it's a boring day on certain stocks, absolutely. Especially with SPY closing its gap and then making the reciprocal move. But there were some decent moves. I mean, AMC, massive breakdown. This breakdown here under 26 whole number was fantastic. 26 whole number, your stop is at 2670, and then your target is at 25, 24, 23 in each whole number going down. And then we had the trades in FHTX, HOG, and Tesla as well. What is Tesla doing currently? So there were those 3 trade opportunities that we discussed in this stream at least, but they might not have been the trades that you were watching. So as far as boring day, some stocks were actually quite active. I would say today was actually a pretty decent trading day overall. Much better than the past 2 weeks. Much better than the past 2 weeks. All right. I think we are coming to a point where the market is slowing down. Lunch session is starting. The sun is setting here in Cape Town, South Africa. My one hair is helping cover my hairline. Anyways, I greatly appreciate all of you for watching this stream. Thank you so much. I really hope you got some value out of this. I hope you got some value out of this stream. I feel like we covered a lot of topics. We covered a lot of different things, a lot of updates on Inlight trading, the Inlight app. And then a lot of lessons, a lot of mentality lessons, talking with Joshua about managing a cold thermometer. Those are some great discussions. So thank you everybody who was in here chatting, watching, and discussing and talking. I really enjoyed our conversations. I enjoyed teaching you all, and I hope you learned something from this. I'm glad you did learn. Awesome. Well, I'm going to end the stream here as we enter the lunch session. Might get a little quick lift in. I lifted yesterday, and I'm kind of tired and exhausted, and because my brain is giving me those excuses, I've turned that into a trigger. As soon as my brain tries to come up with excuses, that's a trigger of, no, you need to do this. That kind of thing. So I think I'm going to do that. We'll see about timing, if I have enough time. I have to get some work done tonight. Been working long hours for you all. Trying to get this company up and running and expanding. Expanding is the big thing. The big thing now, as this Inlight app comes out soon. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for chatting. I appreciate all the support. Don't forget to like, subscribe. You know the things. If you enjoyed, if you did learn, genuinely, only if you did learn something, feel free to like, comment, subscribe on all of that. When this gets uploaded as a video, you can comment saying how great the stream was, stuff like that. It really helps to grow a small YouTube channel like this one. Hopefully it'll be a bigger channel, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, I appreciate you all. If you need anything, just reach out to me on Discord. I'm here for you. We can talk about anything, life, trading, whatever. I'm here for you. So just reach out. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I should see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern time for another stream, all right? Right here, same spot. See you then.